to start with, why do you do what you do? At the end of the day, when you're on your last day on earth, are you going to talk about how many prescriptions you filled, or are you going to talk about how many people you helped? Life throws you a lot of curveballs, and so it was last year pharmacy school, very busy, rotations, and just looking forward to the future. And then we find out we're going to have a little baby boy.
I wanted to get out of Paducah, and I wanted to go to the big city, and my parents dropped me off at the dorm, and I was excited to see that Kentucky license plate going down the hill.
And then, years later, Greg was a great student, and he's looking around at colleges, and he got accepted into a couple schools, but he told me, hey, Dad, I want to go visit Samford. I was like, okay. And it's a great bond to have that he actually had some same instructors as I did.
I intended to stay in Birmingham and go to work for one of the chains when Mr. Albritton called me in August and said, hey, there's a store for sale and I want you to come home and look at it. And I get real emotional about this, so you have to just bear with me. Before I knew it, I was signing the loan, my dad was signing behind me, and the local drug wholesaler was signing behind him, and I went into business on October 1st, 1979.
So actually, Kimber was 2 years behind me in pharmacy school. And I was almost completed. Actually, I was already in the hospitals doing my clinical rotations, and Kimber was just starting in school. Across the street from me was her eventual roommate in pharmacy school. I thought, I think I need to go meet those people. And so eventually, that's where I met Kimber, and it burgeoned from there.
I went to Samford to get a pharmacy education, and looking back, I do realize that God actually had his hand in that, and I realize how important Samford is and what they do in their mission.
When I went to pharmacy school back in the late 1980s, there were 72 schools of pharmacy in the country. Now there's 144. And so Samford is tremendous because it continues to stand out. When people ask me what's unique about the McWhorter School of Pharmacy, the first thing I say is mission. Our mission is to prepare students in a nurturing Christian environment to be exemplary pharmacists and improve health worldwide. In today's world, we need individuals who are going to go above and beyond, that are committed to compassionate care to individuals who need pharmacy services.
I thought, we've been giving over the years just our standard donation each and every year, but now maybe it's time to step up. And so Dean Crouch and Victoria came to us and said, would you be interested in becoming part of the Century Circle and creating an endowment? And we told them, it's about taking care of others, and we want to identify students that just have a passion for something other than themselves in their profession.
I did not realize that it was as easy as they explained to me, that you can pledge so much money a year to build up a scholarship that can be endowed for future students. And I think it's very personally rewarding.
I really did cherish the time that I had at Samford, and I felt like it was very important because, one, that's where we met, but also I feel it is very important to make it accessible to any student that wants to go and pursue that passion.
There was a time when I was counting every penny, and I'm sure a lot of pharmacy graduates are counting their pennies for a while with student loans. But when you come to a point in your career when God's really blessing and you have it, I think for us it was just really natural to do it. And originally it was just with the entrepreneurial spirit, but then Greg this past year was the one that recommended, well, why don't we do the whole legacy thing? So, it's special.
I think the endowment was a perfect opportunity for me to give back to Samford and just show how much I appreciate the pharmacy school, because being out in the pharmacy world over the years, I've seen just a huge difference in Samford graduates compared to graduates from other schools as far as just personality, work ethic, knowledge. It's really important to me to give back to Samford, and I think it's something that is doable for any graduate.
We're pleased since 1927 to have a School of Pharmacy here at Samford University. We've been through ups and downs. We've been through a polio epidemic. We've been through a world war. We've been through a depression. And we're excited because we think the Century Circle is critical to our next 100 years of success. The ultimate goal of the Century Circle is to increase scholarships so that we can decrease the cost of tuition and that burden on students who are called to be a pharmacist. So in 2017, we came up with the Century Circle as an opportunity to endow 100 new scholarships over a 10-year period in celebration of our 100th anniversary in 2027. We have alumni in over 46 states and 5 different countries, and they're making such a positive effect. So I invite you to share your story and consider giving to the McWhorter School of Pharmacy Century Circle.